Hi, this is Greg Dorr with Media Life Crisis. The first movie that we're reviewing this month for our PopGap theme of Kung Fu movies is the 1978 Jackie Chan movie Snake in the Eagle's Shadow. This movie is significant historically for a couple of reasons. First of all, even though Jackie Chan had had a few starring roles prior to this was the first major box office hit he had as a star, and after a few subsequent hits that followed roughly the same formula and style of this one, he was able to do more inventive stunt work and break out of the sort of archaic model of the 1970s kung fu movies that people my age know from badly dubbed versions that were shown on American TV in the 1980s. The other thing that makes Snake in the Eagle's Shadow historically significant is that it was the first movie directed by fight choreographer Yuen Woo-Ping. Yuen Woo-Ping is known, if he has any name recognition in the United States, it's because he was brought over by the Wachowskis and Quentin Tarantino to choreograph the fight scenes in the Matrix movies and Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2. Yuen Woo-Ping's fingerprints are going to be all over this month's PopGap. This is the first of 3 movies we're doing that he directed, and he also helped choreograph the fights in several others. I think that 8 or so out of the 21 movies that we're doing this month have some connection to Yuen Woo-Ping. The plot of Snake in the Eagle's Shadow is pretty standard. No one really watches Jackie Chan movies for their inventive plots. Chan plays Chin Fu, an orphan taken in by a kung fu school and used as a janitor. When the master's away, his nasty underlings humiliate and degrade Chin Fu, not only in his everyday work, but they also use him as a, quote, punch bag, where they use him to let their students demonstrate their martial arts skills on someone who is defenseless and can't fight back. This not only earns us sympathy for Chin Fu, but also gives Jackie Chan plenty of opportunities to make his overly broad comical owie faces that he seems to be so fond of, even though they kind of get on my nerves after a while. So we get a good indication here of how helpless Chin Fu is in a fight. However, he encounters this old man who takes pity on him and teaches him the basics of self-defense. This starts a relationship between Chin Fu and the old man, who start to develop a father-son type bond. What Chin Fu doesn't know is that this hobo-like old man is actually one of the last living practitioners of a style of kung fu known as Snake Fist. The Snake Fisters have been systematically murdered by the Eagle Claw school of kung fu, and the Eagle Claw school has sent spies out to locate the old man and put an end to the Snake Fist school once and for all. This old man, by the way, is played by Simon Yuen, who happens to be the father of director Yuen Woo-Ping. He and Chan had such good chemistry and were so good together in these roles that they essentially reprised them for Chan's next movie, Drunken Master, which is one of his classics. The old man eventually starts to teach Chin Fu more martial arts skills. That starts a series of training montages, which is what you expect from these old-school kung fu movies. But in Jackie Chan movies, the training montages are usually pretty fun. There's a lot of inventiveness. You kind of get the feeling that Chan and Yuen Woo-Ping are spoofing training montages to a certain extent. Now, one of the running themes of this month's PopGap is going to be the cognitive dissonance that I have to confront every time I watch one of these Jackie Chan movies that has a lot of broad humor in it. Broad humor is not my favorite style of humor. I feel like the way that Chan does it in his movies, it's juvenile, bordering on insulting many times, but he's so charming that I let him get away with it a lot of the time. And one of the things I really appreciate about Chan is the clever, sophisticated humor that he fits into his martial arts fights. Both Chan and Yuen Woo-Ping are experts at taking the setting of a fight and then using the practical aspects of the location or the props within the location and integrating those into the fight in amusing ways. The old man, for example, fights off some restaurant workers with a bowl and a pair of chopsticks. Now, the old man makes Chin Fu swear that he has to keep his training a secret. The old man is leery of the Eagle Claw school finding out about him, so he doesn't want Chan to demonstrate Snake Fist style anywhere in public, because he thinks it will eventually lead to him getting discovered. Chin Fu, of course, can't resist to use his newfound martial arts skills to get back at his cruel employers in this cute callback scene. This is the kind of Jackie Chan slapstick humor that I like. Very creative, it's part of the story. Kind of reminds you of the old silent film comedians like Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin. And eventually, he can't resist but demonstrate his snake fist style in front of a large group of people, which earns him an audience with the master of the Eagle Claw style. The leader of the Eagle Claw school fools Chien-Fu into giving him a demonstration of his snake fist technique, which results in Chien-Fu receiving a pretty severe beating. It's not a Jackie Chan movie unless you see Chan getting severely pummeled in scene after scene. Then, just by chance, Chien-Fu happens to see his pet cat get in a fight with two cobras. This inspires Chien-Fu to do what none of the other snake fist practitioners thought of during the many years they were being systematically murdered, which is to improvise and think of a way to protect themselves, since it was pretty clear that the snake fist style was not really doing its job if they were so handily defeated. You also get the feeling during scenes like this that Chan is mocking one of the tropes of kung fu movies of the 1970s, which are the demonstrations of styles. Chan's styles tend to be a little broader and more comical. Like most Chan films, the last third of it is packed full of terrific fight scenes that are fun, interestingly choreographed. They showcase the actors' wonderful acrobatic skills and physicality. And they also are usually pretty intense because even though the movies have several moments of what I consider alienating slapstick, you like Chan so much, and you like the other actors in his movies so much, that it matters to you when their characters win or lose a fight. There's a sword fight with a crazy-eyed Western missionary, which looks convincingly enough like Chan is being attacked with a real sword, that it adds an extra layer of drama. I've seen a few movies from this period of Jackie Chan's career. A couple of the ones that predated Snake in the Eagle Shadow, like Fearless Hyena and Half a Loaf of Kung Fu, which I saw a long time ago, but I remember being fairly ordinary and being kind of disappointed by them. But immediately following Snake in the Eagle Shadow, Chan made Drunken Master and The Young Master, which I think are his two best movies from this period. Snake in the Eagle Shadow was a lot of fun. It manages to combine the archaic old style of the 1970s kung fu movies while involving elements of self-parody, self-awareness, excellent inventive fight scenes, charming actors, effective villains. Although some of the acting styles are broader than I would like, it's still a lot of fun. To me, it's not quite up there with Drunken Master and Young Master, but it's still a good introduction to Jackie Chan. You can see why it made him a huge star in Hong Kong and launched the career that turned him into one of the biggest action stars in the world. So now let's rate Snake in the Eagle Shadow on the various movie websites that we use. On IMDb, its average user rating is 7.5. I think that's maybe a little overrated, but I tend to rate movies lower than other people. I'm going to give it a 7 because I think it's a very good movie, but not a great one. Now over at Letterboxd, I'm going to rate this movie in accordance with that at 3.5 stars. And I will say that I like this film. And now for the real test of where this movie stands in terms of my favorite martial arts movies of all time, let's add it to my flick chart. Flick chart is going to ask me to rate it against other movies that I've seen so it can place it accurately on my chart in terms of my taste. Scream. Scream's a movie that I feel is well done but fairly mediocre, so Snake in the Eagle Shadow is going to win that matchup. Battle Royale is an awfully good movie. That's the Japanese precursor to the Hunger Games. Battle Royale is going to win this competition because it's a much more distinctive movie than Snake in the Eagle Shadow. Oh, well now this is fitting. We have Drunken Master, the movie that Jackie Chan made immediately after Snake in the Eagle Shadow, also co-starring Simon Yuen as an old man who tutors him in the ways of martial arts. Drunken Master is a much better movie. I'm going to pick it in this situation. The Devil Wears Prada. Very well done movie. Well acted. Entertaining. I'm going to vote for that over Snake in the Eagle Shadow. Sorry, martial arts fans, for picking a chick flick over that. Now, Begin Again is a movie I saw just about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I thought it was okay. I didn't love it. Snake in the Eagle's Shadow certainly has a lot more going for it than Begin Again does. The World's End, Edgar Wright's science fiction finale to the Cornetto trilogy. I liked it. Was not my favorite out of the Edgar Wright movies. I think Snake in the Eagle's Shadow is going to edge that one. Bobby, that's Emilio Estevez's movie about the day Bobby Kennedy got killed. I have very so-so feelings towards that movie. So Snake in the Eagle's Shadow is going to win that. Manhattan Murder Mystery is when Woody Allen had just reached his late peak of Husbands and Wives, and his movie started to go downhill from there. Snake in the Eagle's Shadow. Windy City Heat is a strange and amusing movie that's a practical joke about this guy, Perry Caravello. I thought it was interesting, but the not being a member of the LA comedy scene, some of the in-jokes didn't resonate with me. Snake in the Eagle's Shadow has more to recommend it. Wanderlust, that's the David Wayne comedy with Paul Rudd and Jennifer Aniston about a free love commune. Amusing, not as good as Snake in the Eagle's Shadow. Captain America the Winter Soldier, that's a movie that lots of Marvel fans think is one of the best of that franchise. I've seen it twice now because my son loves it. I didn't love it. I didn't think it was that special with regard to the other Marvel movies. I'm going to give Snake in the Eagle's Shadow the edge in this case. Wheels on Meals, another Jackie Chan movie. This one's a few years later. Wheels on Meals has an amazing fight scene at the end between Jackie Chan and the big, huge guy known as Benny the Jet. I don't think I can pronounce his last name. That alone is enough to keep Wheels on Meals above Snake in the Eagle's Shadow in terms of Jackie Chan movies. Even though it's a very silly movie, the fight scenes are just incredible. Alright, so Snake in the Eagle's Shadow winds up at number 1,339 on my flick chart out of 3,058 movies. And let's find out now, if we go over to my list of my favorite martial arts movies on Flickchart, what it considers martial arts movies. I'm going to reload that to see this new movie pop up down there. It's going to be right down here between Wheels on Meals and Boxer's Omen, but behind some of my favorite exploitation movies, Invasion USA, Revenge of the Ninja, Drunken Master, Ong Bak. So that's it for The Snake in the Eagle's Shadow. Good movie, not a great one. It's in fine company down here. We have a review for this movie already posted on our website, MediaLifeCrisis.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at PopGap. Find us at Flickchart and Letterboxd. The links are on the screen below. And we'll post another review soon. Thanks for watching.